Juling, Director of Education with PSIA and AASI, and we are excited to come at you tonight with our partnership with SNO-GO. Joining us this evening, we have founders from SNO-GO, Chase and Obed, as well as Rob, Director of Marketing, Sean, Director of Global Resorts, and coming all the way from Loon Mountain, we've got Rob Bevere to talk about resort partnerships with SNO-GO. But I want to just share a quick story on my first experience snow-going. Growing up in Michigan, I kind of prided myself on being able to slide on just about anything because we had to, because of the sheer boredom of the small hills we were sliding on. So anything from cafeteria trays to, to plastic sleds and everything in between. And now in my new role, my role as Director of Education, I also am a multi-certified pro in skiing, snowboarding, and telemark skiing. And I've snowbladed and snow skated. And interestingly enough, as up until 2 years ago, I hadn't been on any kind of a snow bike, sleds and everything in between. And so, when I had the opportunity at Big Sky, Chase and Obed came out 2 years ago, actually in the spring during our National Academy, to get on the SNO-GOs. The first immediate thing was just how easy it was within minutes. So we were sliding down the hill and having fun. And if you're a skier, it feels a lot like skiing if you're used to that. And if you're not a skier or anything, and you say you're a mountain biker, the sensation of standing on the outside pedal while you're cruising a sharp corner is very similar sensation to that. So it articulates and it feels a lot like, and puts you in a great position to actually ski. And you don't need to have a ski or snowboard background. And the beauty of it is that goes right along with our vision statement of creating lifelong adventures through education, is it gets so many other people that may have not gotten into snow sports via the traditional pathways, and allows them to get involved in feeling the wind in your face and enjoying time on snow. So we're going to talk about our partnership tonight. We're going to hear from several different folks from the resort side, like I mentioned, and learn more about how you can get involved. We partnered and developed a new learning course. We'll talk more about that. But for now, we're going to share a little video with everybody to get you stoked on what's coming down this evening.
On SNO-GO was incredible. I have never rode a snow bike before and it was the best. I recommend it to anyone. I've skied and snowboarded and it has something totally different to offer than you'd expect.
All right, and my name's Rob Asseltine and I'm the Director of Marketing here at SNO-GO. So hopefully that video gave you a nice little teaser of what SNO-GO is capable of. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about where I came into the company and where I think it can go. It's actually a really phenomenal product, but it didn't start out that way for me. I think like many other skiers and snowboarders that might be out there, I was a bit hesitant to, acknowledge that ski bikes were something that could actually have a place on the mountain. I was kind of curious as to how they could work. So when I first heard of these guys, which I heard of SNO-GO through my wife, I talked to Obed and Chase, the founders, and they invited me out. She said, you just got to try it, come out on the mountain and just see what it's all about. And so I did. So I met up with them, and immediately within like, just getting off the lift and going down the cat track, I was like, holy smokes, this really articulates like skis. And my ski career goes as far back as, when I was a teenager, I was a ski instructor at my local hill in Neshoba Valley in Massachusetts. And then I went on to work with Dan Egan and skiclinics.com as a ski coach for free ride clinics that he participated in. So I never raced, I never got into that side of things, but I would say that my ski skills were pretty honed by the time I was a teenager. And, I hadn't had that feeling of recognizing what my skis are really doing under my feet and paying attention to that until I got on the SNO-GO bike and I said, holy smokes, this is doing exactly what I remember being taught when I was 15 or 16 years old. And so that sensation all over again was really, really cool. And then you pair that with, steering in the handlebars. And I was like, man, this is just like the downhill mountain biking stuff that I've been getting into lately. So it just gave me this whole new exciting sensation that I hadn't had sliding on snow before. And then I was hooked. I was like, I got to help you guys. Let's join up and figure out how we can, get you guys out there. So we started working with our various networks, and we got, his name's Isaac Freeland, who is the guy who won the Free Skiing World Tour just last winter. And he was the first one. And on his first day riding a SNO-GO, second attempt, he landed a backflip. So it's like, there's a lot of things that we can do on these bikes that they're extremely capable. It's not just a toy. This is a great piece of equipment that will open a lot of doors to a lot of people, but it's also something that can be super fun and high performance for those who want to take it to that level. And from that point, we went on to film professional mountain bikers who do the Red Bull Rampage, Reed Boggs, and Crankworks 3-time champion Nikolai Rogatkin. They've ridden these things, and they're all just, they're on board with us. They're like, this is cool. This is super exciting. And so I'm excited to see where the sport goes. But I think at the base level, at the same time, it's so user-friendly that more people can come into snow sports because of this equipment. And so we brought on Sean Catnaugh to our team to help develop these relationships with resorts. And he's got so much experience in doing this in the snowboard industry that we wanted to present the same opportunity here with the SNO-GO bikes. So with that, I'll introduce Sean and let him talk a little bit about his background and where he thinks SNO-GO can go.
Thanks, Dave and Rob. For those that don't know me, I've been a PSIA-AASI member for over 30 years. I am old. I have been an examiner for the Eastern Division for AASI for over 20 years. And I had a stint on the AASI national team. To say that getting people introduced into winter sports is a passion is a vast understatement. I've committed my entire career towards it. I've had the ability to spend over 2 decades working with Burton to develop the Learn to Ride programs and products. And that entire time, I've also been a very passionate mountain biker. And this opportunity came around, and it was a chance for me to blend my love of sliding on snow, my passion for riding a mountain bike, and just getting new people into it to see the fun. So I jumped at the chance and have not had one second thought since I got involved. And I can't wait for those of you who haven't had an opportunity yet to try it out for yourselves and see what all the hype is about.
So we're going to play a video that kind of demonstrates, how SNO-GO came into the industry, what we think the potential is, and we'll let you take a look.
It's widely understood throughout the snow sports industry that increasing participation numbers by a significant degree proves to be one of its most challenging tasks. An exponentially long, sometimes painful, and cost-prohibitive learning curve involved with learning to ski or snowboard quickly filters out eager newcomers every year. In 2011, SNO-GO founders Obed Martyr and Chase Wagstaff envisioned a new machine that captured the intuitive feeling of riding a bike with ski articulation to control your speed through edging as done by skis and snowboarders. The key was a technology they dubbed SLAT for synchronized lateral articulation technology. The second key was developing a chairlift hook for safe and easy use loading all standard chairlifts. With control and safety paramount in the design process, SNO-GO released its first bike in 2017 with continued improvements each year thereafter. 2 successful crowdfunding campaigns and content featured in places like Outside Online and the Chive Network have driven global demand into multiple continents and dozens of countries. Here in the US, SNO-GO is allowed at over 200 resorts. Unlike other ski bike products, SNO-GO is the only bike endorsed and recognized by the Professional Ski Instructors of America and the American Association of Snowboard Instructors. January 2020 gave birth to the Premier Partner Program. 18 resorts now carry fleets of SNO-GO rental bikes and offer lessons as Premier Partners. In those 8 weeks, we learned SNO-GO has proven acceptance, 4.9 out of 5 stars from over 100 reviews. Resorts average 35 bike rentals per week. 85% of newcomers cited SNO-GO as easy to moderately easy to learn. Over 4,000 SNO-GO lessons were given. Over 220 instructors added SNO-GO lessons to their resume. SNO-GO incidents are rare. Approximately 1 in 200, or 0.5% of first-time users experience a minor crash, and most of those get back on the bike and cited that they will return to SNO-GO again. Learning to ride the chairlift was easy for newcomers and generally figured it out within a few runs. Thousands are already reimagining what is possible this winter through the potential of SNO-GO bikes. Some will return to the slopes after a decade or more. Others will join friends, family, and partake in the fun. And many will carve groomed runs and play in the powder for the very first time. Finally, there are instructors excited to expand their careers, teaching and sharing this exciting new experience. SNO-GO is an inclusive new sport that respects tradition and embraces revolution. In the following presentation, you'll hear from SNO-GO founders Obed and Chase, SNO Operating CEO Joe Hession, PSIA-AASI CEO Nick Heron, to further cover how the SNO-GO Premier Partner Program can expand your resort's offering to your customers, create valuable new cash flows, and memories for many that will last forever.
Awesome. So hopefully that gave you a nice background on, what we think the opportunity is here. And so to talk further about that, no one better to go into a deeper dive on where SNO-GO got started from Obed and Chase, SNO-GO founders.
Hey guys, my name is Chase Wagstaff. This is my partner, Obed Martyr. I'll kind of give you guys the backstory on how this whole company was born. So Obed and I have a very opposite track record from Sean Catna and Rob Asseltine. We did not grow up in the winter sports industry. So Obed and I, just so everyone knows, we've been best friends our whole lives. And from a young age, I actually come from a family of skiers. I have 4 older brothers, all of which skied. And from a young age, I'd go up, and for some reason, I just didn't have the best time, and it just for some reason wasn't for me. And a little bit more to that story is I grew up with bikes and handlebars, and anything with a handlebar is what I gravitated towards. So I tried skiing, I was okay at it. I just didn't grasp it and really see it through to actually become like a long-term participant. Tried snowboarding, it just wasn't for me. And so from the age of like 10 on, I really just stopped going to the mountains. And Obed has a similar story where he tried both skiing and snowboarding and broke a bone each time. So both of us right out of the gate from young ages just stopped going to the mountains in the wintertime. But both of us in the summertime were on mountain bikes. I ended up getting into motocross. I was a big snowmobiler at one time. But anything with a handlebar is what I really gravitated towards. So Obed and I continued to be friends, and we graduated high school, and we were living together in a house here in Utah. And all of our friends were just bragging about hitting the powder and the first runs and, coming back and asking us, why aren't you guys not up at Brighton or Snowbird or one of these awesome resorts? And we kind of looked at each other and said, you know what, like we've been miserable for the last 10 and 12 years. There's got to be some way for us to engage with winter sports. So We're both entrepreneurs at heart. At the time, we both owned our own small businesses. And, when we were living together, we just got on a whiteboard and started, or we actually got on a computer, started researching what all exists out there. What are other ways to engage with winter sports outside of skiing and snowboarding? And we came across the concept of a ski bike. And for those of you that don't know, ski bikes have been around for a long time. I mean, there's been products out there since the 60s. So it's not a new concept by any means. So for us, when we saw the concept existed, we gravitated right towards it because we're both bikers. We didn't know that there was such thing as putting a bike on snow. So we got our hands on anything we could at the time. A lot of it was garage made product. A lot of it was from companies that had gone out of business in the past. And at the time, this is back in 2011, there was only one resort in Utah, which is where we're from, that allowed the product, which was Brighton. Every other ski resort said, no way, this is way too big of a liability. So at that time, we got the product, went up to Brighton and started riding them. And although they weren't very well designed products and there was a lot of room for improvement, we got swarmed by crowds and it was very apparent to us that there was something with this concept. It just wasn't fully there. No one's really pushed the concept of a ski bike to actually integrate into a resort ecosystem the correct way. So back in 2011, we were just trying to find a way to engage ourselves. So we got these bikes, we were riding them, we were having a blast. We could clearly see that there was tons of potential and tons of interest from consumers, coming up and stopping us mid-run. So over the course of 2011, 2015, we just started prototyping our own product. We figured, hey, there's a lot of okay things that have existed in the past, but we could totally make this bike way better and innovate this thing for ski resorts and innovate this thing so more people can engage with winter sports. And during this time, we actually came across the statistic, we got our hands on some industry data. I'm sure you guys are aware that the first timer experience is pretty poor for first timers up on the mountain. 85% of people at the time were not returning a second time. So as we were prototyping our ideas, we had the concept in our head is we need to make a product that anyone can learn within 1 to 2 runs. And so over the course of 4.5 years of R&D, we finalized our design, which is what you guys see today. And honestly, we're super stoked about it. We've had nothing but great feedback from our customers. And really, our whole goal with this product is to bring new people to the mountain, not to convert a skier or a snowboarder into a snow-goer. Although we have a lot of customers that buy our product, but they're typically riding them 1 day a week or just having fun on them from here to there. We felt like, this is a huge opportunity to bring a new category of people that don't engage with winter sports with a really short learning curve. So that's kind of how it came to be. We hit the market in 16, 17 season. And ever since then, it's kind of grown its own legs and it's been a fun ride so far. So we're excited for the opportunity to present with you guys today, and I'll let Oba take it from there.
Sure. Yeah. So again, thanks everybody for being here, Obed. And now that you guys understand our background, we can kind of touch on how the unique perspective that we came into the industry and how, from our perspective, designing a product like this, I think really fits specifically into going into the season. As you guys probably all know and are familiar with, just the recent uptick in participation across the board in all outdoor activities. We're starting to see unlikely participants flock to outdoor activities, no matter what it is. And so I think going into the season, it's worth mentioning that there's an opportunity for the ski industry to cast a wider net that I think is currently available. And as educators, we can't thank you enough for your attention and your time, because you guys are on the front lines and can provide something that in the long run can really have an effect on this conversion. As Chase mentioned, our priority really was to create something that had immediate gratification. And so it's really possible with SNO-GO, depending on what you're looking for, whether it's a beginner, whether it's somebody who wants to really push limits of a product, what you're gonna get is an experience that you're gonna crave right from the get-go. And so, to kind of speak on that and the potential of how wide this net really can be and how the opportunity can kind of seep into many different non-traditional avenues of what that participant may look like. One story that's really near and dear to our hearts is one of Addie McCord, who's the director of ski patrol for Beaver Creek. And Addie spent her whole career in winter sports. And a few years ago, she suffered a devastating accident that threatened her career. And just when she thought that there was no options for her to continuing to do her job, she learned about SNO-GO, had the opportunity to ride, and found it to be a solution for her to continue to do her job, continue to do what she loves, keep her job. And still today, she does her everyday duties as a ski patrol on a SNO-GO. And so we're not talking about just new beginners, although it's a huge opportunity, but also people with, limitations, injuries. And so there's a huge opportunity here for also retention. And so hopefully that kind of covers a little bit of what the opportunity is. And as educators and teachers, you guys can, hopefully those wheels are turning and you guys are starting to really see the opportunity. And so I'll kind of kick it off to the next segment here. Thanks for participating and being in attendance.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Obed and Chase. That was a great summary of how SNO-GO came to be. And now we'll have Dave touch base on the partnership and further detail with the PSIA and what you guys can do as educators and get more involved with SNO-GO.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. Thanks, Obed. Thanks, Chase. We're so excited about the partnership that we immediately decided we needed to collaborate on some education, which is, of course, what we're all about, and get this information out to more. And essentially what we did was we created an e-learning course that has 7 modules to it that will take you all the way from the equipment and the first bit of sliding on the snow all the way up to advanced riding. And if you go through this course, it takes about 1.5 to 2 hours to go through it. You go through each of the modules, you essentially get a certificate at the end of it that qualifies you and to guide snow going on the mountain, and also just sets you up for success to have a safe, fun, enjoyable time on the mountain, whether you're just by yourself with some friends and or with guests on the mountain. And of course, that is if the resort itself embraces SNO-GO and either has a rental demo fleet and has a full-on program, or if you're just engaging with guests that have their own bikes that have come to the snow. So you go ahead and complete that course. It's a free course, lms.thesnowpros.org. You can find it through the Snow Pros website. And then we also have, once you complete that course, you are also eligible for pro discounting through the website. That's part of our partnership program, which allows you to get deep discounts, 30% off on all SNO-GO products. So you can go grab a bike of your own and get after it. I think we're going to transition now back to Sean and maybe Rob to talk a little bit more about what we're doing, what SNO-GO is doing at partner resorts.
I knew I was going to do it at one point. Sorry about that. SNO-GO has a program called Premier Partner Program, working with key resorts around the country who have embraced the concept of something new for their guests. As multiple people have said already, not only is this an amazing tool to attract new people and to break down the learning curve into almost nothing, but it's a way to attract people who may have left due to injury, got bored, whatever it is, to get them back engaged again as well. I've seen my firsthand myself, took my daughters up with a couple of her friends and had them hike up a bit and just try it. And within 30 feet, they already had it figured out. And most people who, when they go out for their first time, it's 1 to 3 runs on a bunny hill and they've got it dialed. And part of that is because a lot of the design of the bikes mimics how you would ride a bike out on the road or on dirt. So the vast majority of people already know how to ride a bike in this country. It's pretty quick to map it over into riding a SNO-GO bike. So the rate of success is fast, it's furious, and it's super fun. Beyond that, it takes almost no time to go ahead, hop on the chairlift, go explore the mountain, which most people, when they're starting to try to learn how to ski or snowboard, don't get to experience for quite some time. Yet day one, for a lot of people, if not almost everybody, they can go up and see what the view is from the top. They can go find their way down and explore the mountain a bit. So it really opens up the idea of the winter resort for all these people. And once they get that sensation of sliding around and seeing the beauty and the fun, the fresh air, especially if they're experiencing it with their friends and their family, they're going to get hooked and they're going to want to come back. And it's a sensation that internally at SNO-GO we call permagrin. So we're here to help share permagrin with everybody. And being a snow sports instruction professional for as long as I have, I know how gratifying it is when you have somebody who you start to help them down that path of discovery and you see the light bulb click and they're like, okay, this person's hooked for life. So with that said, I would really like to introduce Rob Bevere from Loon Mountain to talk about how Loon has had their experience with it, because listening to me talk about it is one thing, but hearing it from Rob himself will really help give you some insight into how the program works. Rob?
Oh, no pressure, huh? Thanks, Sean. Thanks everybody for allowing me to invade your evening. I appreciate it. I guess I should probably start out with a confession. We had spoken Boyne route wide, which is Loon is part of the Boyne Resorts, that we really wanted to give this a shot. And I got to admit, man, I rolled my eyes the loudest in the beginning. I was like, oh, snow bikes, one more thing for me to do. We went and met the SNO-GO crew at Sunday River in, I want to say it was last December. Sugarloaf, Sunday River, and Loon, we all went up, met up, and we tried it out. And it was pretty interesting. Like Sean said, within about 10 minutes, 5 minutes, we were all sliding down the hill, making turns, in control, having a good time. We went on to hop on a chairlift and terrorize the resort for the rest of the morning. And then we learned how to put the bike together, because I think that's really important to see the physical tool that we use in how to put it together and how it relates to skiing, snowboarding, or cycling, which is the beauty of this thing. Took it back to my home mountain. SNO-GO had advised us all to buy about 20 bikes each. And I was a naysayer, and I said, nope, you know what? I'm only going to buy 10. And I'm going to go mellow, and I'm going to start this out slow. And we had a very busy Christmas week, so busy that we were running a little short on staff like everyone else was. And as the snow sports director and vice president of Loon, yours truly here got to be the guy that did all the SNO-GO lessons, because we were that busy. So throughout the season, I did about 250 SNO-GO lessons myself, students. And I got to tell you, there's something about this. There are people that are bored skiing or snowboarding that want to try something different. And there are the folks that I call never nevers. Those are the people that have never skied or snowboarded and probably never will. And those are the ones that amazed me. The people that showed up and thought they couldn't slide on snow, that thought they couldn't get down the mountain, that they didn't understand what we do and the reason why all of us on this call love this. And within an hour had, like Sean said, the permagrin that, oh, I can do this, or, oh, this is different than I thought, or, oh, and this is the one that got me. I think I want to try skiing or snowboarding as well. So particularly in the current time of COVID, when many managers and directors are looking for alternative revenue streams, what can we do to make the bottom line better? We're gonna go deeper into SNO-GO. We're going to offer it more. Some of the things that I found, if I was to rewind, we only offered SNO-GO weekends and holidays. I would have offered it 7 days a week. One of the things that I found out that on my days off when I wasn't at the resort, the bikes were getting grabbed by all the local kids, and they were going out ripping around on them, but they didn't want me to see them out there using the bikes because they just grabbed them and had a good time with them. I think that's so cool that there's a groundswell of people that see this as something that's really neat. And if I can offer any advice, gang, but buy deep and offer it as often as you can. Get the crew of SNO-GO to come by to your home resort, train you how to use it. You won't be sorry. You won't be sorry. Use the stuff up on the website, the PSIA-AASI website, that really helps. It's free training. It's you get a certificate out of it. You can't go wrong. You really can. I'm super impressed. And now when anyone says SNO-GO, I go, oh, pick me. I'll do it. I love teaching it. It's an absolute ball.
Well, thanks so much, Rob. That was really great. It's really nice to hear firsthand what the experience is like on snow, and as a born and raised East Coaster, and knowing how conservative it can be out there, that warms my heart. That's awesome. So we're gonna move on to a Q&A. We've got a couple of questions that came in here, and actually this first one, I'm actually going to direct it right back to you, Rob. It says, how does SNO-GO work in the lift lines and getting on the lift, and can you put the bar down?
So absolutely. Lifts and lift lines are relatively easy. When you actually load the lift, all you do is walk up, step off the SNO-GO, sit down on the chairlift, and the thing actually hooks on by itself, and the bar comes right down. It's real simple. All that we have done at Loon is, if it's a 4-person chair, we load 3 people on it. If it's a 2-person chair, we load 1 person on it. We just reduce by 1, and actually exiting or offloading is simple as well. I tell everyone, all you do is lift the handlebars up when they touch the ground, or when the skis touch the ground, push it forward, step on, and slide right off. It's really simple. It's way easier than people think. There may be, depending on where you are, some constraints with regards to fixed grip versus non-fixed grip stuff, but most of the resorts are going to be willing to work with you. And I think as this keeps going, the states will get in line as well. Does that help?
That's great. I think so. Thank you on that. Another question is, so there's several resorts that have, it sounds like, rentals. Where can I find out what these resorts are if I want to go try a SNO-GO?
I'll take that one. If you go to www.sno-go.com, that's SNO-GO.com, you can find the resort locator where the premium partner resorts are listed. And you can also find retailers on there as well. And there's a number of resorts across the US that have the bikes available with lessons and other experiences available. So go check that out. And if you have any questions beyond that, feel free to go ahead and send an email to info@snogo.com.
Awesome. Thanks, Sean. I might direct this one towards Oben and Chase. It sounds like the learning curve is really easy, but what happens when people go too fast? Do people lose control? Are there reports of collisions and injuries?
Sure. I'm happy to take that one. And it's a really good question. And I think I'll tie it back to our decision to partner with the PSIA and why we feel so fortunate to be a part of this ecosystem. Because from the very beginning, we've spent a lot of time and effort into the emphasis of safety. And we recognize that, the whole experience of coming up to the mountain and having having something be prone to accidents and injuries is something that we intentionally wanted to avoid. And so I tie it back to the PSIA because really what it comes down to is education. Rob mentioned that when we partner with a resort, we spend the time to train the employees, everyone from lifties to anyone who's going to be doing maintenance on the bikes, teaching on the bikes, and the emphasis is how this progression works, how the rental process should work, and how we as educators and those who are in control of this product and rolling this product as we can scale it safely. And that really comes back to the education piece. And with that education piece is really instilling one, the etiquette, safety, and in the proper use of this product. You are in control. It is very easy to pick up. And with everything that you do on sliding on snow, there's an inherent danger to that. And so we as a company are committed to being hyper focused on scaling this as safely as possible. And that's where the education, PSI education piece comes into play. It is absolutely crucial that we educate. And again, to what I said earlier, you guys as educators are on the front line, and we want to hand over, with the PSIA, obviously, hand over the resources to scale this safely.
Great, thanks. That really spelled things out. So we've got 3 more questions here. I think this next one I'll direct to you, Sean. You mentioned you had your kids get out there. Is there several sizes of SNO-GOs? What is the general age group that you see riding the bikes, and what's available to people out there?
So currently there's one frame size, and the bikes come with an adjustable stem, so it fits a wide variety and range of heights. Typically anything from around 5 foot up to around 6'3" can comfortably fit on the bikes. The example of my daughter and her friends, they were both under 5 feet and had no issues controlling the bikes. But typically age-wise, I would say middle school and up tends to be a good fit. There's certainly a lot of demand for smaller bike for kids, and to say that something's in the works would be fairly accurate, but
Yeah.
Right on. Along the same lines, there's a lot of folks out there who have adaptive needs and have been limited to sit skis. How does this work with folks who have adaptive needs? Are there certain parameters that help people who can use their lower limbs and want to get out on snow?
Rob, can I jump on that one? Because I'm an adaptive examiner as well.
Okay.
Absolutely. This is unbelievable chance for folks with some mobility issues and sometimes cognitive issues that have got too many things that skiing or snowboarding presents challenges that have got too many things going on that they can get on this. I work with New England Disabled Sports at Loon, and I cannot tell you how many times adaptive instructors came up to me and said, how can I get a hold of one of these things? This is amazing. This is going to open up a huge window of opportunity for folks in the adaptive universe. Yes, 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 yes. Do this.
Nice. Appreciate that. That's good to hear. That's really touching. Chase, did you have something to add there? Or?
Rob just said it best, but I was just going to say we never intended this to be an adaptive product, and we quickly saw that it was. I mean, when we launched the product, the amount of requests we got from, disabled vets we had a guy, out of Idaho drive all the way down just for one run demo that had cerebral palsy, very, very limited mobility from his waist down. So he can't ski or snowboard. His kids were 10 and 12, learning how to ski and board, and he was missing out, and he came down one run, got the hang of it. So all I was going to say is, as long as you can stand and use your legs and actually hold your weight up, and you don't have to have good balance. I mean, if you have bad balance, you can still ride the bike because you're holding onto the bars. So as long as you can withstand your own weight or withstand your own body weight, the product will work most of the time. So it's been a great tool for that.
Awesome.
I would like to just add that if anybody wants to see proof of that, on the SNO-GO website, into the athletes segment, there is a whole video story of a guy named Aaron Baker that is amazing. The guy who was taken out of all sorts of action sports due to a serious injury, kind of got back into doing quad bike. And as soon as he saw a SNO-GO bike, it was like almost a rebirth for him. So check it out.
Yeah, that story is really cool. I actually worked on that one with Aaron, and it's phenomenal. He came back to the mountain after 20 years of not participating, and to see the joy that he had on his face when he got to glide down the mountain again, that was touching. That really, it made my year actually when he told me that story. So that's a good one to go check out. Last question. I'm actually going to take this one myself. How can I get that discount again? Remind me. So there is an e-learning course that the PSIA offers through LMS at thesnowpros.org. Go ahead. If you're a member, you can take that course. And at the end of the course, there's an application. You fill out the application. We match your member number and you're awarded your discount. So make sure that you take that course. And I'm throwing this out there. This is something we didn't plan on, but I've got some exciting stuff here to encourage you to take the course. In just a month from now, on November 1st, we're going to take all the names that completed the course and we're going to put them in a hat, and we're going to do a drawing, and we're going to give away Pit Viper goggles. This is a brand new pair of Pit Viper goggles. So these things are sitting here waiting for a lucky winner. And we have one more. This is actually super cool. If you're familiar with Pret helmets, Pret helmets launched a new helmet called the Fury. And this is a limited edition helmet with a really, really cool pattern that was exclusive to certain members of the industry last year. So I've got that sitting around as well. So make sure you take that course, and we're going to raffle those off as well. From there, I'm just going to send this over to Dave to wrap it up.
All right, thanks everybody. Tons of great information. As you can see, there's no shortage of excitement around the partnership with SNO-GO and all of the opportunities that it provides for getting so many more people into sliding on snow and enjoying the outdoors, whether it be with your family or friends who are also skiing, snowboarding, or doing whatever other sliding types of sports that are out there. It just opens the doors for so many more folks. And again, if you have any questions, check out our pro page. SNO-GO is there, and it describes in more detail how to go about taking the course and getting your discount. And if you haven't checked them out or tried them, we all highly encourage you to get out there this winter when we do, right? Because we're going to get out there and shred around on bikes and have some fun. So thanks again to everybody. Thanks to Rob. Thanks to Chase and Obed, Rob, the other Rob, and Sean for this evening's presentation. And we'll let you all go. Have a great night.
Thanks,
Awesome.
everybody.
Thanks everyone. Before we wrap it up here, I've got one more thing to add. So if you want to check out some of the other things that we've been doing at SNO-GO, this is playing right on our YouTube channel, so you're already in the right place. We've got videos from those guys that we've talked about before, doing the backflips, doing all those cool tricks. Check out the films Rye Winter and White Dirt. And make sure you click subscribe so that you can see everything we're up to. There's even an education playlist where we're going to feature a lot more content to keep all the PSIA and ASI instructors up to date with new learning tools and tutorials as the season gets underway. And so with that, I'm just going to read off a couple of quick comments that we got here while we were on the webinar today. These are fun. SNO-GO, sorry, this is from Jay Giman 23. SNO-GO has changed my winter. Last year at Sugarloaf, I was able to go down the mountain with my son and the wife for the first time in 10 years. Because of my knee injury, I went 15 times before COVID. This is from another user, Scott Hepner. The doctor accidentally put a screw in a nerve Doctor accidentally put a screw in a nerve during a back fusion and now have a drop foot. Haven't been able to slide or teach. As I'm reading, it's jumping with new comments. Haven't been able to slide or teach for a few years. Super stoked to try this and hopefully teach again. I have bought one of these. I want to get certified with this. I have a snowboard cert and working on a ski cert. We have them at Winter Park. You bet, Philip. Go and get certified, join up and become an instructor. We're really looking forward to work with more partners like the rest of you. If you haven't tried it, please go try it, like Dave said, and we look forward to seeing you on the hill.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Here's to a good winter. Take care.